Lights settle in an old familiar place. A world is painted in a glistening haze. Longer nights and shorter days, while the streets are filled with joy and praise. The world alight with colors and cheer. A peace that comes just once a year. Far from the dark that offers fear, we are at peace with loved ones dear. Settled in homes with joy abound, whilst outside snow falls without a sound. The night gives way to lights all around. A starry display, both simple and profound. We gather together in the coldest time, surrounded by lights and warmth sublime, decorating trees and all that we find, a beautiful bounty of rhythm and rhyme. Cheer echoes in each bell and chime. Our fears are nowhere to be found. The snow is bright and crystal clear. Bask in the light of old, familiar holidays. Let's start the show. Ho, 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 and happy holidays. You're listening to 87.7 FM, The Night Watch. We're right here for all of your news, happenings, and everything else you need for your community. My name is Bella Jewel, and I am your lovely host for the night. Your usual radio man, Rex Adams, is currently out spending time with family. Namely that very interesting wife of his. Now, I don't mean to talk bad about my employer, mentor, and hero's choice in life or partners or anything. After all, he's a fantastic man, a wonderful guide, and a father figure when I've needed it. But his choice in partners and people to spend time with, well, let's just say that Santa doesn't need to check his list when it comes to Karen. The woman makes Krampus look festive and blizzards look warm. But hey, let's not get too deep into this. For whatever reason, Rex has decided he loves her, and that counts for something. Does it mean that it will last long? No. Does it mean that he's probably going to find some interesting papers in his stocking one of these days? Probably, but hey, let's drop it for now. I could go on about my feelings, but my mother expected me to be better. So how about we just slide past into some jollier topics? We are at the busy, bustling end of another big year. So much has happened in 2013 that I can barely believe we're already here in December. What a time! I mean, we had the whole puppy infestation, and then there were the raccoon riots, and then that whole awful speech that Mayor Judas gave at the end of the raccoon riots. Like, whew! What a time to be alive. And now we're here. How is everyone doing out there? Snow's coming down pretty hard. Impressively hard, I dare say. It's been a while since I've seen a blizzard like this. I think I was in grade school the last time it happened. Just checking the weather reports right now, we are hitting up about 2 feet of snow within the last couple of hours. And that's pretty crazy. Shouldn't be too much to bother us though. The roads are empty, the streets are silent, lights are glistening beneath thick blankets of snow, and we are all at home safe and sound. It may be a blizzard out there, but at least we're all nestled up inside out of the cold. Currently myself, I'm here at the station all alone. I didn't really have any particular holiday plans lined up. Not a lot of family left alive to visit, but hey, that's okay. I got my blankets, I got my coffee mug, and best of all, I have all of you here with me tonight. Families come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of yours on this particular winter's eve. Your ears, my voice, what more could you want? Besides that, I also have a couple of buddies promising to swing by with hot chocolate and a festive dinner. So don't feel too bad, I won't be alone for too long. A wonderful holiday feast is on the way, courtesy of the one and only Liv Hawthorne. So shout out to you, Liv. You're the star of the police academy, and on top of that, you make a mean lasagna. I would be completely lost without you, and you've been an essential part of my life for years. And here's to hoping that you're right there for me yet again for the years to come. Sincerely, earnestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I hope you and our dear sweet little Jeremy get here safe and in one piece. Until that time, well, I'm just hanging out with the rest of you listeners. There's not really anywhere else to be, and not really a lot going on. The roads are buried under snow, and it's dead out there. Storm warnings have been called, and everyone is encouraged to hunker down and stay home. And honestly, I'd agree. There's nothing out there right now. Shops are closed, the roads are empty, but there's something charming about all of that. You look out the window and all the holiday lights are still on, blinking, twinkling, ribbons of color breaking through the snow that buries them. It's like the entire city has settled into a well-earned rest. It's charming, in a haunting sort of way. So, that's where we are. Sorry for the lack of news, folks. It's a slow night tonight. Not much is happening out there, but I appreciate you sticking through it with me. I don't really have a lot of people left in my life to spend the holidays with, so it means a lot to me to have you here right now. So much so that I think I'll let you all in on a little treat. It's the holidays after all, and what's a holiday without a little sentimental storytelling? On cold winter nights such as this, when I was a wee little girl with a family, my mother and I used to build up blanket forts. We would nestle in, get nice and cozy with one another, and then she would pull out one of the weirdest little bedtime stories and read it to me. And so today I have one of my mother's old books right here. It was one of my favorites that she used to read every single time the roads were busy and no one was at the hotel. It's a charming little story, and I hope it means as much to you as it does to me. So gather together, pull up your coziest of blankets, and just listen as we indulge in the sweet, sweet memories that I hold dear. Once upon a time, there was a small town that sat right next to a massive forest. The forest was old, all wild brambles and towering pines, twisting aspens, and ominous shadows that watched and waited from every angle. Everyone in town learned to be afraid of the woods, not only because of what it was, but because of what lived inside them. You see, a monster lived in these woods, a large monster, a massive creature with claws that could rip through the thickest of boulders and horns as tall and twisted as the terrible trees that covered every inch of the forest in shadow. The sight of its piercing eyes was enough to make the bravest of souls go weak and insane from fear. It was terrible. It was horrible. It was dangerous. The townspeople lived in fear of the monster. They built fences around the forest, told stories and warnings to each other, and forbade their children from ever venturing too far away from the town. In every way they could, the people tried to hide away from the monster. From the first generation who saw it to everyone that came after, they all knew to fear the beast and stay away from the forest. And for years, this is how things were. But time eventually changes all things. The memory of the monster faded to a folk legend. People started growing closer and closer to the woods. Over time, fear dwindled, and parents stopped worrying about where their children played. Eventually, all the children of the town were allowed to play a little closer to the woods, creeping all the way up to the fence that blocked off where the forest met the field. One snowy day, the children of the town were playing together in a field that sat by the border of the forest. They built snowmen, had snowball fights, did everything that children do to enjoy the winter time. Amidst all the fun, however, a little girl lost her scarf to the wind. Her name was Anna, and she chased her scarf all the way across the field until it landed within the dark tendrils of the forest. Anna was a brave little girl, but even she paused at the border where the trees met the field. Her parents had warned her not to go into the forest. There were dangerous things to be found in there: bears and wolves, sharp rocks and jagged trees, dark paths and ditches that could hurt her and make her go lost. Anna wanted her scarf back, but at the same time, she knew that it was dangerous to go in there without any knowledge of what to find. She worried about getting hurt. Anna stared into the darkness of the forest, debating what to do. It was her favorite scarf after all, but could she risk venturing into the trees? As she pondered this, a large hand with razor-sharp claws swooped over her. Anna stumbled back and screamed. She closed her eyes and braced herself to be torn to ribbons. But then, she wasn't. Confused, Anna opened her eyes and found her scarf dangling just above her face. The monster loomed over her, gently holding up the scarf as an offering. Anna was confused, but she took back her scarf, and the monster seemed to smile at her. She smiled back. The monster turned to leave, but Anna stopped and asked if it would like to play with her. At first, the monster was confused. This was not the normal reaction it was used to receiving from people. But Anna was nice, and she insisted. Her reasoning was that the monster seemed lonely, and that they needed another person for their snowball war. Aside from that, the monster had helped Anna when she needed it, and so it couldn't be all that bad. This intrigued the monster, and it agreed to join Anna with the rest of the children. What followed was a wonderful day in the snow. The monster's large stature was perfect for stacking up the tallest snowman that any of the children had made. Its massive size and thick fur made an excellent sled to glide down the largest of hills that they could find. It wasn't the best at making snow angels, but none of the children minded, for it was fun to simply have another friend there. Overall, the children had fun in every single way, and it was made all the sweeter and all the better thanks to the monster. After a long day of fun and whimsy, the sun was starting to go down, and the children had to return home. They all hugged the monster goodbye. It waved to them as they left their homes, feeling a warmth in its chest that wasn't there before. The monster didn't feel quite as big or as scary as it had in years prior. In fact, it felt happier, less like a monster, and more like the thing Anna saw it for, a friend. So there you have it, folks. That's the story. Back when my mom would read this to me, after we finished, she would poke me all over and encourage me to be just like Anna, to make friends with everyone I came across, no matter what they looked like or where they came from. She would also encourage me to stay away from the shady woods we lived by too, but that one was more of just general small child safety than anything else. Well, in whatever case, I've met some of my greatest friends and the most interesting people simply by being kind. Friends are a lot like family that way. They come in all shapes and sizes. So don't be afraid to reach out. You might just meet someone who's going to be the most important person to you. That's how I met Liv, that's how I met Jeremy, and that's how I came to be on the air with all of you. Anyways, enough sentimental stuff. Jeremy is walking through the doors and he has a hot casserole dish in his hands. Liv is coming up behind him and she has a whole cooler full of hot chocolate. Hey guys, it's lasagna time for me, so we're going to turn the radio over to some old classics to keep you feeling cozy. Happy holidays, everyone. Whatever you're celebrating, I hope it's a good one. Here's to now, here's to yesterday, and here's to the future that holds before us. 2014, heck, even 2015. Let's go and make the years count, people. This is Bella Jewel Mallory, and I'll talk at you later. Dream Girl City is a production by N.J. Schulze. It was written, produced, and acted by N.J. Schulze. The poem featured in this special for today was Holidaze by N.J. Schulze. Have a poem? Have a question? Have a comment? Have a big burning desire to encourage us to finally reach out and get that darn Patreon? Email this and more to DreamGirlCityRadio@gmail.com. Or look us up on social media. We have a Facebook, we have an Insta, we got the TikTok, we got YouTube. And there may or may not be an exciting thing or two coming to our Tumblr page. I don't know, you check it out. If you like supporting the show, please rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts, and share us around to all of your friends and other cool cats who are listening into the audio drama scene. We grow by word of mouth, so everything that you do helps us spread our message further and more around. We love to thank all of you for tuning in week after week and constantly supporting us. It's been a dream to be able to do any of this. We are wrapping up with Season 3 stuff, and there is more Season 4 coming, and it's going to be interesting. This is some of the most intense and ambitious writing things I've done in my entire writing career, and I hope you'll stick around to see it. Until that time comes, happy holidays. I hope you all find your joy in all your ways.